We'll seize you by force if we have to. That's Gwen Calloway, HOA president, platinum bob, designer athleisure, screaming from her Lexus at me. I'm standing in my foundation pour on my property, 11 feet outside her Pinecrest HOA boundary. Behind her, 3 board members film on phones. The concrete mixer grinds. I smell diesel mixing with her expensive perfume. My work boots caked in mud. Her SUV spotless. I hold up the laminated county surveyor's report, calm as Sunday. Ma'am, check the plat map. I'm not in your HOA. Her manicured hand shakes as she points. You think paperwork protects you? What would you do if someone tried to control land they don't own? Drop your HOA nightmare in the comments. Where are you watching from? HOA hell or free territory? Because what Gwen doesn't know is that her power trip is about to cost her everything. Let me back up 14 months. My wife Lydia, 39 years old, high school sweetheart, the kind of person who remembered everyone's birthday and actually meant it when she asked how you were doing, died from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. 11 weeks from diagnosis to funeral. The kind of fast that doesn't let you prepare, doesn't let you finish conversations, doesn't let you say I love you enough times to make up for eternity. I still can't walk past a hospital without smelling that antiseptic smell, that sharp chemical clean that means everything, and nothing is okay. At night I hear heart monitors beeping in my dreams. Medical bills, $210,000. Insurance covered maybe 60%. I filed bankruptcy 4 months after burying her, moved out of our apartment, slept in my work van for 16 weeks straight. Had ramen until the smell made me gag. Lost 23 pounds I didn't have to lose. I'm an electrician, licensed master. 22 years in the trade, the guy they call when nobody else can figure out why a circuit's haunted. I survived on 70-hour weeks and under-the-table side jobs, cash only, no questions asked. But Lydia's last coherent words to me, the night before morphine took her somewhere I couldn't follow, were these: build something just for you, Dante. Something simple. No debt. Promise me you'll live again. So I promised her. And I don't break promises to my wife. I spent 8 months researching tiny home living, watched maybe 400 YouTube videos, joined 17 Facebook groups, learned more about composting toilets than any human should know. Found this 1.4-acre lot in rural Georgia. Mature pines, creek access, posted at $74,000, which was 35% below market. Red flag? Maybe. But I'm an electrician, not a real estate genius. The seller was Darlene Pritchett, mid-70s widow, hands shaking when she poured me coffee in her kitchen. The place smelled like burnt Maxwell House and old lace curtains, decades of life baked into the walls. Faded wedding photos on the fridge, sympathy cards still on the counter. Her husband Harold had died 8 months before. I need to be honest with you, Darlene said, sliding a chipped mug across the Formica table. Pinecrest HOA tried buying this land from Harold for pennies, 40 cents on the dollar. When he told them no, she paused, eyes wet. They made our lives hell. Citations for our mailbox height. Complaints about our truck. Threatening letters. Honey, are you sure you want this? I asked the one question that mattered. Is this property in the HOA? No, never was. Harold checked 50 times. I checked 51 times. Spent 3 hours in the county courthouse basement. Fluorescent lights buzzing like angry wasps overhead, flipping through plat maps that smelled like old paper and bureaucracy. Found the original 1989 survey. Darlene's lot, now my lot, was recorded 6 years before Pinecrest HOA even existed. Separate deed chain. Clean title. I bought it with the last of my savings and a small loan from my boss. Day 3 of my foundation pour, here comes Gwen Calloway. Golf cart. 2 board members flanking her like backup singers. Phyllis, 60-something with a permanent scowl, and Kurt, 50s, polo shirt, the kind of guy who says just being honest before saying something cruel. Gwen climbed out wearing yoga pants that cost more than my work boots, and a smile sharp enough to cut glass. She slapped a cease work sticker on my truck door like I was running a meth lab. Handed me 3 printed pages. Architectural review application. $1,200. 6-month approval window. We'll need elevation drawings, material samples, and a landscape plan. I stayed polite. Lydia always said you catch more flies with honey. Showed Gwen my deed, my survey, my permits. Ma'am, I appreciate the concern, but I'm not in your HOA. This property predates Pinecrest. Her smile didn't move, but her eyes went cold. You're adjacent. You're in our sightline zone. We have aesthetic impact enforcement rights under county code, and we will use them. She stepped closer. I could smell her perfume, something expensive and floral with an undertone of threat. Fight us on this, sweetie, and you'll lose everything again. That word, again, landed like a gut punch. She'd researched me, knew about the bankruptcy, knew I was barely hanging on, knew exactly where to twist the knife. The texture of that deed in my calloused hands felt suddenly fragile, like it could disintegrate. I found out later from neighbors, from Google, from public records, that Gwen had been HOA president for 12 consecutive years. Ran unopposed every election because anyone who challenged her mysteriously got citations until they quit. 8 families forced out over code violations. Mailbox 2 inches too tall. House paint 1 shade off approved beige. Swing sets that disrupted community character. 2 minority families got it worst. Black family in 2021, cited for structural violations that 3 independent engineers couldn't find, sold at a 42% loss. Latino family in 2022, unapproved landscaping modifications. They'd planted a vegetable garden, gone within 6 months. Gwen Calloway didn't run an HOA. She ran a fiefdom, and I'd just built a house visible from her throne. The crunch of her golf cart tires on my gravel driveway as she left sounded less like a goodbye and more like a declaration of war. I just didn't know the rules yet. 2 days later, Gwen filed a county zoning complaint claiming I was installing an unapproved septic system. Complete lie. I had every permit, pulled them myself, color-coded the folder, because I'm annoyingly thorough like that. But even false complaints trigger investigations. The county sent Inspector Dennis out for an emergency review, which shut down my foundation work for 2 weeks. 2 weeks of crew sitting idle, money evaporating. Dennis showed up, mid-50s, coffee-stained shirt, the exhausted look of a man who's done with humanity. I handed him my permits. He flipped through in 18 minutes, sighed. You're clear. Everything's perfect, then quieter. 3rd bogus complaint this month from that HOA. I'm documenting this. Small bureaucratic win. I replaced Gwen's destroyed stakes with rebar posts, sunk 2 feet deep, concrete-filled bright orange flags on top. Good luck running those over. Here's your knowledge nugget. HOAs can only claim aesthetic impact if it's written in the original subdivision covenants. My lot predates their HOA by 6 years, so 0 standing. Check deed chains at your county clerk for $8. Takeaway, always verify the plat date. Next morning, all 6 rebar posts cut clean through with an angle grinder. Metal shavings scattered like confetti. Note taped to my windshield. Leave while you can. No cameras yet. No witnesses. Just the smell of burnt metal in the morning air and $43 of destroyed hardware. That afternoon, Darlene called, voice shaking. Gwen came to my assisted living. Said if I don't convince you to leave, she'll contest Harold's will, claim he was incompetent. Her breath caught. She can't do that, can she? That's when I understood. Gwen doesn't just attack you. She attacks everyone around you until you crumble. I told Darlene she was safe, but my hands shook when I hung up. This woman had no limits. Week 3, Gwen escalated. She formed a property values defense committee, really just her and 2 cronies with clipboards. Sent a letter to my employer, the Municipal Electric Co-op, claiming I was building an unpermitted structure that reflects poorly on licensed electricians. My boss Reggie called me into his office. I thought I was getting fired. He slid the letter across his desk. You see this? My stomach dropped. Yeah, he laughed. Gwen's been a pain in my ass for a decade. She reported me for parking my work truck in my own driveway. He crumpled the letter, tossed it. You're good, Dante. Oxygen. But Gwen wasn't done. Posted on Nextdoor with a photo of my van. Transient squatter threatening neighborhood safety. Lock your doors. Comments exploded, mostly her HOA allies. One guy suggesting someone call ICE, even though I'm 3rd-generation Georgian. I joined Nextdoor. Posted my surveyor's report. Permits photo of Gwen's crew destroying my stakes. Hi neighbors, I'm Dante, building a legal home. Anyone else experienced Pinecrest HOA harassment? DM me. Nuclear. 143 comments in 6 hours. 15 people messaged privately with Gwen horror stories, fines for Christmas lights, citations for bird feeders, threats over lawn height. One woman, she made my daughter cry over sidewalk chalk. I felt less alone. For 72 hours. Then Gwen's husband, Rod, county commissioner, owns Summit Contracting, discovered a 1981 drainage easement on my property, claimed they needed a 40-foot culvert, emergency installation 14 days, would bisect my foundation. Here's knowledge nugget 2. Old easements need recorded surveys and maintenance history to be enforceable. Counties can't dust off 40-year-old papers without proof of upkeep. Request maintenance records at the clerk's office for $9. Takeaway, make them prove every claim. I sat on my tailgate at sunset, holding Lydia's photo. I'm so tired, Liddy. Tell me this is worth it. The creek gurgled nearby. A family of deer came to drink, steam rising off the cold water where their muzzles touched. They didn't care about easements. I decided, not giving Gwen one more inch. I needed professional help. Found a retired surveyor named Mabel Song through Dennis the inspector. 72, Filipino-American, reading glasses on a beaded chain, sharp as broken glass. She agreed to investigate Rod's easement claim for $300 cash, showed up with a rolling cart of plat maps, a laptop held together with duct tape, and Tupperware of homemade lumpia, set up on my tailgate like it was her office. I think better when I'm eating, anak. The lumpia was still warm, pork and vegetables wrapped tight, crispy outside. I hadn't eaten real food in days. She worked 2 hours muttering in Tagalog, cross-referencing documents. I sat drinking gas station coffee tasting like regret, watching her. Then she stopped. Leaned back. Huh? Bad, huh, or good, huh? Your 1981 drainage easement. Voided in the 1994 county replat. Never updated in records. Rod's either incompetent or committing fraud. She spun the laptop toward me. Relief hit like someone lifting a truck off my chest. But I found something much better. Her smile went predatory. She pulled up a 2019 aerial survey. Property lines in neon colors. See Pinecrest's community pavilion. The fancy one they rent for weddings. Yeah? 38% sits on county easement land. Public property. They've been collecting $500 rental fees for 6 years. She zoomed in. The property line cut straight through the pavilion's east wing. That's embezzlement of public resources. State Code 470819. Criminal charges. HOA dissolution. My hand started shaking. Not from fear. From power. Do we report this now? Mabel shook her head. Report now. They scatter, destroy records, play victims. You build a case. Witnesses, documents, hurt families. Then detonate at a public meeting with cameras and the state attorney general watching. She offered another lumpia. Revenge is best served with legal documents, witnesses, and proper carbohydrates, anak. I laughed. First real laugh in a month. Felt strange in my chest. The war just shifted. I wasn't defending anymore. I was hunting. 4 days later, Gwen petitioned the county for a public safety review, claimed I ran illegal commercial electrical operations from residential property. Certified letter. Cease operations or face $500 daily fines. 500 times 30 equals bankruptcy twice over. I gave county zoning my credentials. Master license, 2 million insurance, 847 5-star reviews. The officer laughed. Gwen's 4th bogus complaint this year. I'm opening a harassment file. You'll need it. Victory. Small but real. 3 vicious Yelp reviews appeared overnight. Dante's wiring almost killed my family. All from accounts created that morning, faker than gas station sushi. I reported them. Yelp removed them in 2 days, but my phone stayed silent a week. Grocery money I couldn't earn. Then Deputy Troy Bannister knocked on my window. 50s ex-Marine linebacker build. Gwen called dispatch. I was trespassing and erratic. He expected trouble. Found me inside my boundary holding a tape measure. Sighed. You're Dante Marquez? Yes, sir. Oak Street warehouse fire 3 years back. You helped me carry Mrs. Chen down before the roof collapsed. My chest tightened. I remember. Handed me his card, personal cell scribbled on back. Gwen's husband golfs with my sheriff twice monthly. Makes her bulletproof, his jaw set hard. Not with me. Anything happens, call this number first. Not 911, me. An ally with a badge. Finally. Legal trick costing nothing. Document everything. Every interaction, threat, lie. State bar sites offer free evidence log templates with dates, times, witnesses, photos. 3 documented incidents legally establishes harassment patterns. Courts need proof on paper, not feelings. 2 mornings later, I arrived at dawn with coffee and hope. My truck destroyed. 4 tires slashed to ribbons. Go home spray painted in dripping red across the door. Insurance deductible. $1,000 I didn't have. Called Reggie, my boss who'd already loaned me money once, to ask again. His instant, "Of course, brother, I'll bring it tonight," made me want to cry harder than the vandalism. No cameras yet. 3 weeks from affording them. No proof, no witnesses. Just sharp spray paint smell mixing with spilled coffee and bitter shame in my mouth. Over 3 weeks, I built something Gwen couldn't see. A team. Mabel dug through county records like she was hunting buried treasure, which, in a way, she was. Found 6 families Gwen had systematically crushed between 2015 and 2024. The pattern was surgical. Target working class or minority families, bury them in code violations, drain them with legal fees until they sold at 30 to 40% losses. Then Pinecrest HOA or Rod's company swooped in to buy cheap. Troy agreed to attend town council as a concerned citizen. Having a deputy in the room, even off-duty, changes the atmospheric pressure like a storm rolling in. Felix Okonkwo, 29, county weekly reporter, so tired of writing about high school football scores he could scream, treated this story like his personal Watergate. Interviewed displaced families, filed public records requests, asked Gwen questions that made her lawyer up instantly. Darlene handed me a stack of printed emails showing Gwen had threatened her husband Harold 6 months before his fatal heart attack. Sell to us or face consequences. She'd kept every word. I filed a Freedom of Information Act request for all HOA county correspondence over 5 years. Cost $14.50. Waited 10 business days. Received 47 pages documenting Gwen's complaint addiction, 83% dismissed as frivolous. Here's Knowledge Nugget 4. FOIA requests cost under $20, take 7 to 10 business days, and government agencies legally can't refuse without cause. You want to expose corruption? Request correspondence records first. Emails don't lie like people do. Created a private Facebook group, Pinecrest Accountability Project. 4 of 6 displaced families agreed to testify. 2 were still too broken. Mabel uncovered the kill shot. HOA tax filings showed $140,000 paid to Rod's Summit Contracting for phantom maintenance. 0 receipts. 0 work orders. Pure embezzlement. Felix timed his article to drop 48 hours before the council meeting. Maximum pressure. Late nights became my religion. Kitchen table covered in documents. Coffee going cold in the pot. Tasted like burnt regret by morning. Blue laptop glow turning my face ghost pale. Printer grinding out 40 evidence packets like a tiny paper factory that could. Spent $340 on a 6-camera security system. Installed it myself at 2 a.m., following a YouTube guy with a thick Boston accent who kept saying wicked easy. Total cost of war so far, $1,542.50. Every penny of my emergency savings gone. But I had something Gwen's money couldn't buy. Ironclad proof, witnesses willing to speak truth, and a plan with teeth. Mabel arrived one evening with her signature lumpia. "You ready for war, Anak?" I looked at 40 evidence packets on my tailgate, sunset turning them orange gold, and thought about Lydia's last words. About Darlene. About Jorge's family. About everyone Gwen had crushed. Been ready since she said again. 6 days before the town council meeting, Gwen appeared at my property unannounced. Security cameras caught everything. She stepped out in intimidation casual, tailored blazer, heels clicking on my gravel driveway. The power outfit for making offers you'd be stupid to refuse. "Dante, can we talk like adults?" I stayed calm. 3 cameras rolling. "Sure." She pulled a white envelope from her designer purse. $22,000. "Certified check, I'm not a criminal." Almost smiled. "You walk away quietly, drop all complaints. We write you a reference for your next property." I stared at that check. One horrible, tempting second. Thought about Lydia's medical bills still wrecking my credit score. Then remembered Jorge's family crying. Darlene's shaking hands. The word again. So you're admitting you have no legal claim? Her smile cracked slightly. We may have been overzealous. Neighborhood protection gets complicated. Pass. Mask dropped completely. Voice went ice cold. People like you don't belong here. You bring down property values just by existing. Take the money. Every word captured. Audio crystal clear. She left in silence, tires spitting gravel like venom. I backed footage to 3 Clouds, texted Troy and Felix immediately. 2 nights later, 3 a.m. call from my neighbor. Something's happening at your place. Machinery sounds. Threw on clothes, drove 12 minutes with my heart hammering. Found my electrical service line cut clean through with bolt cutters. Live wires sparking and hissing on the ground like angry snakes. Touch those, instant death. If a utility worker showed up tomorrow. Potential fatality. Not harassment. Attempted murder. Troy filed felony criminal report. Sheriff sent investigators. Recovered bolt cutters, wiped clean, no prints. Word spread through Facebook like wildfire. By 9 a.m., 12 volunteers arrived with tools, coffee, grocery, donuts. Americans show up to anything with donuts. Fixed my line in 4 hours. Jorge brought his entire church. Someone spray-painted my gate in blue. We got your back. That afternoon, anonymous email. Subject, I'm sorry, Harriet Mullins. Quiet HOA board member. Attached. Internal emails showing Gwen knew day one my property wasn't in HOA. Proceeded anyway. Her exact words, he can't afford to fight legally. Apply pressure until he breaks. Harriet's note, been afraid 3 years. Not anymore. I'll testify. Forwarded everything to Felix. He called 30 seconds later, voice shaking. Dante, this is the smoking gun that ends her. Felix's article dropped 48 hours before the meeting. Front page, HOA President's Reign of Terror, embezzlement, harassment, forced displacement. Went locally viral in 2 hours. 1,400 shares. 3 TV stations picked it up. Reporter knocked on Gwen's door with cameras. She screamed and slammed it, which made evening news and got another 1,000 shares. Gwen hired an Atlanta lawyer. Sent cease and desist letters threatening significant defamation consequences. The newspaper's counsel laughed, filed it in his frivolous threats drawer. He keeps a whole drawer just for that. Gwen organized 30 HOA residents to pack the meeting, create intimidation presence. Facebook post, defend our neighborhood. Be there or lose everything. What she didn't see, State Attorney General's office called. Not an assistant. The actual AG. They'd been investigating HOA corruption statewide for 8 months. Someone tipped them about Gwen 6 months ago. AG rep, we'll have someone Monday. Keep doing what you're doing. Official backing. For displaced families coordinated via Facebook. 2-minute statements prepared, evidence printed. Jorge's wife bringing extended family. Mabel recruited Vietnamese community volunteers. 25 confirmed. Darlene, 76, terrified of speaking. Practiced with me 17 times until she could deliver without crying. Troy confirmed. Full uniform off duty. Presence adds weight. Night before I sat under Georgia pines. Smelled rain from the west. Creek running high from storms, white water in moonlight. My tiny home 70% done. Walls up, roof sealed, windows in. Almost home. Lydia's photo taped inside. Whispered, tomorrow, baby. We finish this. Phone buzzed. Felix. Chamber holds 180, expecting 250 plus. Opening overflow with video, huge. Didn't sleep, ready Monday night. Town council chambers packed. 273 people in a space for 180. Overflow rooms full. 3 TV cameras. Troy in uniform, front row. State AG rep next to council president. Gwen arrived with 30 HOA members expecting control. Saw the crowd. Face went pale. Martinez gavelled. 24 speakers. 3 minutes each. Dante Marquez first. Walked to the mic. Set my timer. Showed survey. Property outside HOA by 11 feet. FOA docs. 47 frivolous complaints in 3 years. Pavilion built 38% on county land. Illegal rentals for 6 years. Played security footage. Gwen's voice filled the chamber. People like you don't belong. Take the money. Gasps. Showed vandalized truck. Severed electrical line. 258. I just wanted to build a home. Thank you. Thunder applause. Jorge next. Forced out, lost 60,000. Asian couple. Elderly couple. All 4 families, voices shaking but clear. Harriet Mullins. 7T, trembling but strong. Read internal emails projected on screen. Gwen's words in black and white. Property not in HOA, but he can't fight legally. Pressure until he breaks. Room went silent, heavy, angry. Martinez to Gwen. Would you like to respond? Gwen shot up, purple-faced, pointing. All lies. Attacked by people who don't understand values. He doesn't belong. Ma'am, address the council. We have rights. Voice cracking. We'll protect our neighborhood by any means. We'll seize him by force if we have to. Dead silence. Cameras locked on her. Troy stood, hand on belt. Martinez gavelled. Out of order. Security. My husband will end you. Gwen screamed as officers escorted her out, voice echoing down the hall. Chamber exploded. Martinez gavelled 10 seconds for order. Voted 7-0. Refer to AG for criminal investigation. AG rep stood. Investigation begins tomorrow, 9 a.m. All board members barred from HOA finances pending review. Standing ovation. 90 seconds. People cheering, crying, hugging. I stood shaking, tears streaming. Troy walked over, clapped my shoulder, said nothing. Didn't need to. 8 months later, Pinecrest HOA officially dissolved by state order. Gwen charged. 4 counts embezzlement, 2 harassment, 1 perjury. Rod resigned as commissioner. Summit Contracting lost all public contracts. The pavilion transferred to County Parks, renamed Pritchett Community Center, honoring Darlene's late husband, Harold. Now genuinely public. My tiny home stands complete. 420 square feet, solar panels, rainwater collection, composting toilet. Total cost, $68,000. Saved me $165,000 versus traditional. First night sleeping there, I sat on my porch listening to the creek. Cried talking to Lydia's photo on the wall. Different tears, healing ones. I partnered with displaced families to create Property Rights Defense Cooperative, sliding scale legal help, fighting HOA abuse. Funded by settlement money. Mabel volunteers as expert surveyor. Troy joined advisory board after early retirement. Jorge's family bought back adjacent land, built their home. Monthly potlucks now. Creek cleanups with 50+ volunteers. Darlene visits every Sunday. Terrible coffee, amazing Harold stories. Last month I met Sophia, 40, nurse, Jorge's cousin, widow, at a potluck. Had coffee 3 times, taking it slow. Lydia would approve. My electrical business tripled from media coverage. Booked 6 months solid. Here's my question. Survived an HOA nightmare or any petty tyrant stealing your peace? Drop your story below. You're not alone. Hit subscribe for stories where the little guy doesn't just survive, they win. Next, nursing home tries evicting 80-year-old vet. His platoon shows up with lawyers and media.